What you're about to see are all original recordings. Nothing's been faked, nothing's been changed. We checked the whole courthouse before we started our investigation. We were alone, and the doors were locked.
Electromagnetic field, or EMF, is something that we measure for when we conduct investigations. Popular theory among paranormal investigators is that as entities try to manifest, they put out a certain amount of electromagnetic field reading. So we go around with our meters and try to detect or pick up any kind of fluctuations in what the normal background of the building is.
My EMF meter was jumping crazy. It was mostly right in here, it was saying 1, 2. And all of a sudden it started jumping up to 0.5, 0.6, 0.9, and then went to 1.7, 1.8, then dropped back down to 1. Right now it's 0.4.
Our daytime EMF readings over in this corner were 0.
Well, I've got 0.1, 0.2, it went 0.3. Now it's there's a notice instruction.
Electronic voice phenomenon, or EVP for short, is basically voices that are captured on audio tape or other digital media during an investigation. It is believed that these voices or utterances are spirits or ghosts trying to communicate. Now, these noises are not audible to the human ear, so the investigator conducting the EVP session doesn't hear a comment or response while doing the recording, but upon going back and listening to what they've recorded, that's when the EVPs occur.
Okay, where you go that one?
As the evening started, Greg and I started on the 3rd floor back in the new portion of the building on the northeast corner. We set our equipment up and started immediately taking EMF readings, try to get a good base feel for what the building had. Greg was experiencing problems with batteries. We were in there with new batteries, and in that corner room, he had a couple of devices whose batteries were practically dead before we even got off the ground. We walked around and left our voice recorders in that back corner room, and as we came down the hall, as the videotape from my camera had indicated, we walked up the hall and were talking as we went into one of the other offices. While we were down in that other office, the voice recorder I had in the back room picked up an interesting saying, Schumach. And it kind of sounded like Greg's voice. I went back and tried to verify on the videotape just in case it had been him that said that. And it clearly wasn't, because the video recorder picked up our conversations we were having at that end of the hall. There was absolutely nobody in the back half of the building. And where that name or voice came from remains a bit of a mystery. Also, while Greg and I were in that back room investigating, we started to wrap up our investigation in the front half and walk back to where the audio recorders were residing. And my voice recorder clearly picked up a voice whispering, "Here they come." And you could clearly hear us coming, the voices increasing in volume as we did approach the room. It was as if something watched us and may have even been talking to somebody saying, "Here they come." And I thought that was very interesting.
What you hear, there's nothing to do with it. And that's what's going there and so the function.
We learned historically, of course, it was used as a courthouse, but also as a Civil War hospital. People had been hung there for various crimes. So I expected, if there was something there, that we may encounter some male spirits, maybe not so nice. So I was very surprised after our EVP sessions to go home and actually find some children's voices as well as some female voices. During the night, at one time we were in the courtroom, and the three of us that were there all felt a presence in the same direction and heard a breath. And at that time, we also picked up one of our EVP's other child. I imagine this was a busy place at one time. Big city, a lot going on. A lot of good and a lot of bad. Are you looking for anybody? Can we help you find somebody? Did you hear that? I heard a breath coming from the back corner. Left or right? From the right side. Come on, do something. I'm getting bored. You get bored here? I get bored and hungry too. So that sounded good, all right. Show us what you got. I mean, we are here. We are here for you. I mean, there is no other reason for us to be here tonight. When Tara could be with her family and I could be at home and curled up in my bed, resting, because we've been busy this week, let me just tell you. Yeah. And we could be at home relaxing and enjoying ourselves, and we chose to be here for you. And you are a no-show. Or is it that you're afraid of dark and you can only make these sounds during the day? Now that would just be a who. A ghost who's afraid of the dark. Police car just drove by. That's all right.
us are gonna move so that no sound, because I just stepped on loose floorboard, I thought it was you, but it wasn't you because I made it happen again. So wrap on the bench. Wrap on the bench, wrap on the post, bench better.
There's all kinds of wood and planks laying around. Knock one of these things off.
Absolutely, there's two standing right here next to us. Knock it down. Make believers out of us. Come on now. Tara ain't got nothing.
One of the weirdest things that happened throughout the night while we were investigating is multiple times while I was sitting in the courtroom upstairs, I would be sitting towards the back of the courtroom, and all along the walls there would be shadows of people moving. And granted, you know, the team was moving around, and several times I asked different team members to recreate where they had just walked, because it seemed like there were just constantly shadows moving along on the walls. And most of the time we could recreate the shadows and the movements that I saw, but there were several times that there just simply was not a person in between the light and the wall in that particular spot, and I had no idea what were making those shadows walking around. Granted, there were a lot of windows and a lot of outside light sources, but there were very few things inside the courtroom that could have actually created the shadow itself. So I'm not really sure where those shadows came from, but they continued on and off most of the evening.
Whoa. Somebody put a lot of nails right here? Those weren't there just a second ago. No, I sat in this chair.
Sweet. When
Because when I came up here during the daylight, I noticed they were in that chair.
it was when you and Scott were in here. Because I tried that, I was going to sit in this one, but it leans back. I thought it was broken. So I sat in this one. I've got video footage of me sitting in this chair.
Yeah, I remember you sitting there.
Yeah, there were no nails in this chair when I sat here.
You afraid of being prosecuted by us? You chased by the law? Like a fugitive? Are you afraid of being judged?
Fall up down the stairs and stuff, and sometimes he'd sit right here, right in front of the jury, while they were doing all this stuff, and he'd fall asleep. And they'd all try to be quietest to not wake him, because he'd be angry whenever he woke up. I can't wait to go that one up. Yeah, looks like that, and it's not Scott.
Who's playing the stairs?
I heard a voice too. It was like a child or a girl or something.
That's like a girl.
Does the sound of this traffic get on your nerves?
Sorry.
Rumor was there was marble sounds that were dropping upstairs in the courtroom or one of the rooms next to the courtroom when nobody was there. And so that was one of the things that we wanted to look into. I listened all night and I never heard it with my ears. We went back and checked all of the evidence that we had compiled, and on audio, I got it one time in the courtroom, and then on video, when Justin and I went into the courtroom late at night, we opened the door to walk in, and there was the marble sound, dropping, hitting the floor, rolling. I never heard it with my ears, but I got it twice, 2 different times. And it very much sounds like marble dropping,
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that when I walked in.
I concur with that. Just weird.
Just spookiness.
I got chills all up and down me when I walked in here.
Too. That's true.
When we entered the courtroom at the very beginning of the night, the first thing we noticed is that the room atmosphere was extremely heavy. It was warm, it is near the top of the building, but the air was just really, really thick. And everyone who walked in there noticed it immediately, that they kind of felt like they were a little smothered. And at one point later on in the evening, as all the team members are in the courtroom at the same time, conversing, every single one of us started to get sick. And a couple people remarked on it, and once we all reconvened downstairs at our meeting point, we all began discussing how at that very moment we all felt dizzy or nauseous or what have you. And there was another point in time where we had gone up into the front of the courthouse, and these were small anterooms, and these anterooms were usually where the jury was sequestered. And we were asking the spirit, or I was asking the spirit, how it felt about having a jury making its life or death decisions. And I was overcome by this enormous cold chill. And you have to understand, this building, drafty as it may have been, that night was extremely comfortable outside. So having a cold chill come over you right when you asked that question, that was a little unnerving. Somebody's life was changed in this room. I'm here to tell you. Good or
The
bad,
decisions that you made.
your life was it was changed and affected by whatever went on and the conversations that went on in this room. They either kept you alive, or they all agreed unanimously that you had to die. How does that, oh, I just got cold chill. A cold chill. How does that make you feel? Does it make you angry that your life was held in the palm of someone else's hands? That they could make the choice whether or not you lived or died? Does that make you angry that someone had that kind of power over you?
Go down the lobby and sit in the dark. Do a final session.
Let's go down the lobby and sit in the dark for a minute. Do the final session.
Go ahead and go up. And, after you, we'll set up court.
Turn the light out when you're ready. You walk toward the green light. Oh my God, my spirit light. Don't look at that one. Don't leave me. Please. Well, I'm not coming back down this place. Sorry.
That I get the privilege
You
of
gonna
coming
turn
back.
the light off while we go upstairs?
Sure. I guess I can.
And that way you can record it's not moving.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Oh. Yeah, right here's another one.
That's like a horrible man.
Have some personal experiences or something. Oh wow. Man, this spot. Oh, there's even more steps.
Yeah,
Oh my lord.
that are almost straight up when you get up
Goodness.
here. To get up in the cupola. What an intricate array of carpentry and wood.
Goodness gracious.
Holy cow. That shadow is a freak.
See, there's that graffiti.
Look at that.
Those are the most straight up stairs I may have ever seen. Yeah. What do you got? Wow. Really? That's crazy. Oh my God.
You used to get up in the attic of this thing. Bigger enough to give it credit.
Okay, I'm up here. Woo!
Is
Oh,
this
okay.
not trippy or what?
This is ridiculous.
You know, your dad said the old sheriff used to sleep up here.
Really? Let's get some footage
There's
out
a
of
police car going down through town.
Was that you? If that was you, will you do it again?
Are you confined to this courthouse?
Maybe hiding in the basement.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw something other walk across back there, and you guys were all standing still. That freaked me out. When we go on an investigation, we're never really sure of what we're going to find. With all the bright voices, the shadows that we got on video, we got over 100 EVPs.